Good evening, us, everyone. Friends, fellows, like-minded individuals in the Inazuma 11 community. Let me give you some sound. Good evening, everyone. I hope we are all thriving on this resplendent Tuesday, this resplendent Inazuma 11 Tuesday, as I have come to dub these evenings. Which, honestly, it works. I like dedicating 2 evenings per week to Inazuma 11. So not just the Inazuma Friday, but the Inazuma Tuesday as well. Good evening, Panda. Good evening, Yami. Welcome. Good to see you already here. That's great. Great to have you. Right. So, Inazuma 11 Victory Road Tuesday, as per usual, of course. We are back once more. And tonight, we are starting on the ORION Chronicle. We are going to do the rare drop battles, the hero battles of the ORION Chronicle, and there shouldn't be that many of them, to be completely honest, since I think I've done quite a few of them already in my own time, in my spare time. But that remains to be seen. I know that I've done like the entire final stretch, I think basically from Brazil to Italy to Russia and then Shadow of Orion. I believe I've done all of that on all difficulties. Are we duffing the dually tonight? That is a great question, Panda. However, I will have to answer in the negative to that one. We are not duffing any dualies tonight. So, apologies, friend. Apologies. But I really think that is an activity much more well-suited to you. Me personally, that's what I think, anyway. But yeah. No, I mean, all jokes aside, not really much else to say. I think it's probably just for the best that we get started on the ORION Chronicle here. There is, of course, the Victory Road, which is now fully and officially underway. The preliminaries have ended. I have not played a single match, but I think that's probably for the best. I have heard that there's quite a lot of rewards that you get for actually playing this mode. Though, yeah, I have not played any of it. So, it is what it is. I did not have time for it. Genuinely did not have time. I'm already happy that I'm able to clear my schedule for these Inazuma 11 evenings. And as you can see, I have started on doing the hero battles for Ares. Also didn't get to most of those, but we're about halfway, so who knows. If Orion is quick tonight, then we can have a look at Ares once again. But let's see where Orion even is to begin with. Okay, so Orion's right here. So, as you can see, I've done a few. I've done the Avenging Acrobats, I've done the Ace Invaders, and then essentially I've done everything past the Ambassadors. So, really, there's not that much left. There's like one more match against against Russia, one against Spain, and then we got basically all the prelims, the Asia prelims. So, what is this, like 6 matches? So, that should be easy peasy to clear tonight, I do think. Also, good evening, Nitro. Welcome, welcome. So yeah, I mean, we still have rare drop battles to get out of the way, so the secondary team is certainly going to come and play here. Even though these teams, they do start at level 80, even, at the rare drop battle rarity already. So, the secondary team has seen some changes, as you can possibly tell. I decided to swap out a few characters. Primarily, I took out Suzuno, I took out Aphrodite, and I inserted Shintekoku Sakuma and Genda. Now that is partially because of their redesigns for Cross, their how should I call it? Gender bent designs, I suppose. They reminded me of these guys, and they reminded me that I really like these guys. So you know, we're using them. We're using all 3 of them on the team. And aside from that, I mean, I kind of just overhauled the defense a little bit, but what that really just means is Cobra being here. And I put Canis in. Canis is also here. But that's about it. So, a few people have had to clear the field. But that's okay. That's okay. This is a work in progress. We're getting there. But at the very least, it is fully equipped now to be counter playstyle. So, we have something going there, at the very least. How are the coordinators? The coordinators are still the same. No, I added Momochi, who is actually counter. So she should be pretty useful. I'm decently certain this is the same Momochi that I have on the main team. So, I mean, that should be fine. The 2 of these, the other 2, I will have to obviously change at some point. Their passives. Oh, their passives, yeah, I don't know. I just did some bullshit. This is for my main team primarily. So just a lot of team-based buffs, which, I mean, it tallies up quite nicely when you slot this into every single slot that the managers have, the coordinators. It's been working out decently for the main team so far. But obviously the main team needs to be changed quite a bit now that the dash tackle passive gain, or dash tackle tension gain, sorry, has been completely nuked for any playstyle that is not rough play. But yeah, it's look for charge rank focus. Yeah, I've been looking for that. Hello, Lucas. Good evening. Welcome, mate. It's I've been looking, but I'm not that pressed to get them finished right now. I'm really not that pressed. Really, the main players on the pitch are much more important to me currently. So we're just gonna see what we can do for those. Primarily, we'll have to train them up. We'll have to train them up first and foremost. And yes, Mikana Rock is still in goal. Come on, I mean, that's my girl. That's my girl. We gotta have her in there. I toyed momentarily with the idea of taking her out, and then immediately after that moment, I realized that I was losing my mind. In fact, the new conclusion that I think is much funnier is if I were to run Fabled Hoshi as a reserve goalkeeper on my main team. I'm not going to lie. That would mean that if I ever switch her in, I have to switch out Tobitaka, because obviously only one Fable on the pitch at a time. But I think it'd be pretty funny. I think it'd be pretty decently funny. I mean, I have two Tobitakas on the same team, albeit two different versions, obviously, but two Hoshis. I mean, I've been debating who to have as a secondary goalkeeper on this team. It would not change anything element-wise, because Ayano and Hoshi are both fire, obviously, but it'd be funny at the very least. So I'm gonna debate that a little further, but. Yeah, all that matters is that we will be using the secondary team for the rare drop matches tonight. So we're going to see how much we can actually beef these guys up. And yeah. Yeah, we're just going to have some fun, I hope. Hope we're going to finish all the rare drop battles for Orion tonight. It'd be quite nice to have these rounded up. So that potentially during a next stream, we could do the Victory Road ones. Also, let me know if everything looks good again. If everything looks good, sounds good. There was an OBS, not an OBS update, there was a Streamlabs update. And while I'm not too paranoid about that mixing things up, there's always the possibility, so. But yeah, what I have done as well, I've given these guys the Shin Teikoku kit, which I think makes sense for having these three here on the same team, obviously. Might you suggest Momoyama as a secondary goalkeeper? You absolutely may, however, do not expect me to do anything with that. Thanks. Okay, so, yeah, let's just get started. Lock in. Might I suggest Pan on all your teams? /J. Pan is no joke. Okay, so why'd you use /J if Pan is no joke? Seems a little contradictory to me, not gonna lie. But okay, we're off. We're off against the Raging Bulls. Now, I'm hoping that most of these matches will be incredibly insignificant. Then again, the stats look to be decently high. We do have our trusty gamer girl, of course. And we have Tsutomu, who's gonna make waves, I'm sure. I said no /J. Did you? Oh, you did. Damn. MB. Anyway. A move that Reiruk absolutely should have voiced, but doesn't. Yikes. But yeah, what this means is that I'll have to actually start winning focus battles, like, quite a lot, because I just don't have... I don't have tension anymore. I don't have the tension playstyle, so I'm actually gonna have to get by with winning focus battles just regularly. Now, on the flip side of that argument, counter is, of course, a really good playstyle, as it just gives you a shit ton of stats when you steal the ball even once. So, it's great. It's great. We're gonna see how it pays off, really. Okay, random ass Korean goalkeeper from Orion voices shot break, which is great. Okay, hold on. Yeah, we're in there. We're in there like swimwear. There's a wall. Yikes. Hold on. She's gotta have something. Surely she has like a special shot here. Low drive, and it's not exactly what I was hoping for, but that's okay. It'll do something. It's not gonna do much now, but that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, 29 attack on the Fudo. I mean, he is level 1, so... Okay, there you go. But at the very least, he did get that ball back. So far, not looking too hot against Korea, I'm not gonna lie. But it's okay. Let's see, I just need to get the ball to her literally once. Yeah, that's all we need. Boom, lock it in. There it goes. This move is still so cool, man. Like, the dumbbell Senki Hisatsu have no business being this awesomely designed, actually. Okay, there's the 1-0. Trusty Aichi, trusty buff gamer girl, the buffest gamer girl you've seen in your life. We recently found out that Hikaru also had his voice actor retired before Victory Road, which is why he's missing voice lines like Ryuk. Is that real? Interesting. That feels... Huh. It's so sad that like all of these voice actors are just not returning. I mean, I guess it makes sense. If they've been in the business for a while and they want to move on, I guess. It has been like, what? It's been at least 7 or 8 years since these characters have had proper voice acting needed. So... I guess there's... Like, there's an explanation for it, right? But still, it's sad, because like we're missing what I think are crucial voice lines. I mean, I'm a little biased, of course, for Ryuk specifically, but... Rodan has a different voice actor as well, because apparently Hikaru and Rodan had the same VA. Oh, really? I mean, I feel like I'd be able to tell if Rodan had a different voice actor. Voice actress, I suppose, in that case. Since I don't see any man voicing that anytime soon. Yeah, there you go, yeah. Counter is just up immediately, and I'm decently sure that having the counter bar up that far just gives you extra focus attack and defense. I think that's how it works. So obviously what you want to do with the counter playstyle is you just want to stack all the passives that, well, all the counter passives, which are obviously designed to give you extra stats upon just stealing back the ball once. So... And then you just become one big stat ball for like 15 to 20 seconds. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but I can guarantee you it is quite a lot, actually, once you're actually in the heat of battle. But yeah, no free tension gain, which can complicate things ever so slightly. As I think I'm demonstrating pretty clearly here. And obviously, I believe you could still use some tension gain passives that will allow you to get more tension from every focus battle you engage in, but I should not have done that, actually, but that's okay. Let's see. Here we go. We go Yurika. Okay. And obviously I'm going to pass to Aichi. Yeah. And then Cheap Blasting. Log in. Is if this defender doesn't have a block move, then I think we should be golden. I think we should have a 3-0 in the back here. But this is... Okay, hold on. Goalkeeper. W. 3-0. So at the very least, we're getting the advantage time. That's all I can really ask for by this point. Counter gets focus from level through passives. Gets focus from level through passives. How am I supposed to read that? Counter gets focus from level... I'm not sure how to read that, Nigel, I'm not gonna lie, but the bottom line is we're gonna need a lot of passives. I know that much, to be sure. Yeah, so that's gonna be a little bit of an adventure to explore how to do that, but... I mean, that's mostly just the grey passives, I think. Gets more focus from passives. Okay, I see. I mean, that is what I just said, so that makes sense. Yeah, as you can see in the bottom left, there is the focus value, the little reticle, the crosshairs, 37% currently. Pretty sure it went up by a decent like 25% since I grabbed the ball. This is epic. I don't know why he selected this random defender that I have as his partner for that, but it's beautiful. Oh, and here's level 1 Fudo. Level 1 Fudo, who is definitely not winning this. Happens. Better luck next time. You're traveling to Utrecht tomorrow, Panda? That's great. Why? I can imagine one reason to go to Utrecht, and that's to transfer to literally anywhere else in the Netherlands, because it's obviously the biggest railway hub in the Netherlands, but... Yikes. Nah, level 1 Fudo is gonna do something if it's the last thing I do. I guess he's not gonna do something, and it will be the last thing I do. Why are we giving yellows, bro? Also, by the way, this reminds me, thank you guys for pulling up, even though I think literally right now is the semi-final in the World Cup between Spain and France going on. If anyone is watching that on the side, definitely do keep me updated, because I am semi-interested, I suppose. Doesn't have the greatest top-of-mind awareness for me personally, but I mean, it's bound to be a good match. The place you were going for trans people stopped taking people from your area for some reason, so you had to switch to one in Utrecht. All the way to Utrecht. Really? From that far down in the country. That's crazy. That's crazy work. So what is that? How long is that journey? Is it like... It's 2 hours, isn't it? Roughly? Since I remember Eindhoven to Maastricht is roughly an hour. And Eindhoven to Utrecht is also an hour, so... I think that's probably the exact route that you're taking, roughly. Fudo did something. In fact, he got us a Grandpa's notebook page. It's beautiful. I told you he was going to do something. The actual World Cup sucks in comparison to Inazuma 11 / this stream. W. Lucas, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I mean, but I agree with you wholeheartedly. Yeah, I did obviously predict all the matches in the World Cup for the love of the game, I suppose, for the love of the game that we have at the office, primarily. But ever since the Netherlands have been locked out, yeah, I really don't care anymore, to be completely honest. Okay, all of the guys up to level 90, so of course we're getting all their moves. Getting passives, Power Shield, Full Power Shield for Genda, which is a really lame moveset considering it's Shin Teikoku, so where the hell is Beast Fang? But also, I think once we've done all the rare drop matches on this route tonight, that will mean I have all the kits that are available that are not necessary to purchase through the shop, through any shops. So all of the dropped kits I will have after tonight. But okay, that is Korea. That's the first match against Korea. So next up we have Satan himself. We have Australia. Alright, the Fallen Angels. Now that Fudo actually has moves and stats, he should be able to do much more. Rip Haaland, he had so... Yeah, I know. He had so much more to give. It's true. You're so right. Also, I think I'll be... wait, this goalkeeper is what? This goalkeeper is also fire, I think. So actually, I'm keeping Aichi in, which... yeah. W Gamer Go. I guess they really just love their fire goalkeepers in Orion, don't they? Argentina L would be so awesome. That's the only thing I'm still hoping for. Like, I would never rally behind England actively, but in this one isolated scenario where they play against Argentina, yeah, I'll rally behind them. Sure, why not? Go England. Just this once. Sakuma. Locking in. All the way over to Tsutomu. Oh, what a beautiful pass. Broski specifically waiting for France x Spain to start the stream. Yeah, that's me. That's me, Vinny. You got me. Good evening, mate. Boa tarde. He voices Castle Gate? This random ass... They don't even have castles in Australia. Hello? Fine, you know, whatever. Whatever. Just give him some bullshit. Call it a day. Yeah, but 1616 on the old Reyruk here is... that's offside, isn't it? No. Oh, hold on. Lock in. 1616 defense on Reiruk is great, obviously. Primarily because he's not a defender in the slightest. He does not have any equipment. I think he has beans, but like they're offensive beans. So that is just the power of the counter playstyle coming into play, I suppose. The Australian goalkeeper voices Castle Gate and Hole I can kind of understand, I suppose. If you interpret Shining Hole as the blazing sun that Australia deals with, like 360 days a year. Just the Castle Gate is beyond me. No clue. Okay, man. I guess they did use Invisible, so yeah. And this one I'm certainly losing, since this is an Awakening. Satan casually flexing 2 Awakenings because they weren't able to fully implement his split personality otherwise. And he just has that shit, like even as a common player. Okay, Tsutomu. Yikes. I gotta give Tsutomu like a defense move, I think. I gotta give him like... What should I give him? Perimeter Zone, maybe? Perimeter Zone is an option. And once again, he scrambles. And once again, Fudo loses with winning odds. And somehow my defender is all the way up there. You know what? Sure. Why not? Lock the fuck in. He does have a shot, actually, so why not? Bound of Frame! Okay, what else we got? Triple boost? Oh yeah, lock in. We finally got some moves. How about the shelter? Ooh, the shelter on Tsutome? Hold on. You are potentially cooking. You are potentially cooking. And even more so because I have also toyed with the idea of using this one Spanish defender from Orion that has the rose in his mouth. I think he voices the shelter, so that'd be cool to actually have those two together. Penalty to Spain. Ooh, hold on. Penalty to Spain. That is not what I expected, not gonna lie. I predicted a 2-1 for France. Spain 1-0. Yeah, okay, well, that checks, I suppose. Okay, well, it'd be very interesting if Spain won this, actually. It'd be very interesting, for sure. It would be very bad for your boy. And then again, I really have nothing left to lose. I'm like 29th place out of 34 participants, so like, I don't think I really have anything left to win or lose. So, Urasuma Shadow. Here we go. 20. Sokyu Seidan. I think everyone except the goalkeeper and the forwards of Spain voiced the shelter? Huh. Interesting. Okay. Well then, that confirms that the guy with the rose in his mouth voices the shelter, I suppose. So, great. You'd love to hear that. Okay, but a 2-0 here. Yeah, I think as long as I don't have any, like, easy tension gains, we won't be looking at any advantage wins, to be honest. Which I can get a few tension gains like this. It's not a whole lot, but it'll do, I suppose, to get shots off. Which is primarily my problem with the other playstyles that are not tension, right? Like, it's so difficult to use Hisatsu, which is really the main selling point of Inazuma 11, is using these Hisatsu. But for some reason, they're just making it so hard to actually use them in any context that is not using the same playstyle everyone else uses. Here we go. This should be the 3-0. So at the very least, we can lock that one in, and we can get advantage time. Use weaker moves and know when to strike. Yeah, but just using the weaker moves isn't fun, man. Like, I'm not about running a meta team here or running an especially effective team here. The secondary team primarily is just to use characters that I didn't get to use on the team I actually wanted to kind of optimize. So yeah, I mean, maybe I should just be running tension on this realistically, but with Hoshi in goal, I'm kind of hard pressed to not use anything that isn't counter, you know. Thomas, good evening, good evening. Watching your stream and the France-Spain match at the same time? That's great, mate. That's great. Thank you so much. Welcome. Yeah, interesting. 1-0 to Spain, huh? Again, definitely not what I expected. I certainly expected France to have the upper hand in this confrontation, but maybe I completely misjudged. Well, we'll see. I guess there's still, what is it, like 70 minutes to go? Roughly? Tension isn't even meta anymore. Well, no, it isn't anymore. That's true. But you still run it because it feels good. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, when you're playing Inazuma 11, you just want to use the Hisatsu. You really just want to use the Hisatsu, and I really am sad that getting tension is the only way to use Hisatsu. And the worst part is, like, even if I win with, say, a power charge or a power defense, I don't get tension from that. Now, that feels a little backward to me, not gonna lie. But maybe I'm a special case in that regard. I sure hope not, but... Okay, so Common Cobra, what is he gonna do? Well, nothing, because I don't have Jumbo Sandwich. So he and his fucked up little face are gonna get absolutely destroyed by Naruko Otoshi. That's okay. I was about to say we'll get to see some Hoshi action, but I suppose not. We're back in the action ourselves already. What a pass. What a great pass. Brilliant pass. I did that completely to myself as well. That's okay. She's got this. Watch this shit. Boom. Ooh, Burning Summer. Oh, he voices it. Cool. Again, makes sense for Australia. Yup, that makes sense. Alright. But we're here, so I think we can just chain between our two Earth forwards. So can you say then? France did their job in eliminating Morocco. Crazy, your favorite game of all time isn't enough to make you cheer for them further. Yeah, okay. No, I mean fairs. But everyone wants Argentina to lose at the very least. At the very least, we're united in that. I'd be very shocked if anyone outside of Argentina really wanted Argentina to win, to be completely honest. I mean, I've ragged on the Argentinian, should I call it spirit? Yeah, maybe that's the best way to go about it, the most politically correct way to go about it, you know? I mean, the Argentinian spirit is just, there's an air of toxicity, you know? There really is. Obviously, that also tallies up with the fact that they're clearly paying off the refs. And rigging the entire World Cup, but that's fine, that's fine. We're gonna let that one slip at the very least. No, I'm not. No, I'm not gonna call them that, Tomas. I'm not gonna call them that because I have no basis to say that. But there's just an air of disrespect, conceitedness. I could name a lot of negative adjectives, I think, but they're really wasted on the Argentinian national squad, so to speak. But okay, that is the Australia match over and done with. Dealt with pretty easily. Let's see how fast we can get these guys up to level 99, so we can start upgrading them. Yeah, got the Shining Satan's kit, and I guess that's their coach. Hold on, this guy, that's Diaboros. Yeah, it's gotta be the manager. Yeah, okay, makes sense. Yep, that makes sense. When every match against an Argentinian team leads to them having at least one racist interaction against you, it doesn't help their side either. Okay, no, yikes, that is certainly not helping their case. Well, I guess I did just call them exactly what I said I wasn't going to call them, but you know what? If that's the case, if that's the evidence, then you know what? Fairs. Again. Let's see. I think we can actually. Hold on. We can have a little peek here at the team. Surely we can perform some upgrades. I think it'd be nice to upgrade Cobra actually. Let me just get him literally any spirit. Let me get him. You know what? This ugly ass guy from Korea. Okay. That's one. Do I actually? I have more spirits of them. Yeah, that checks out. I mean that works. I just keep using these then, I suppose. Argentina think they're the best, so they don't foul because of it, making plays that cross the line slightly go through. I guess, and I suppose there's also this is also something I've said many a time. It is obviously the international status of Messi, and probably having a mob chase you home after the match if you do anything to harm his sacred image. Well, we all know how footballers are, treated in Argentina and bigger parts of South America, unfortunately, which is kind of crazy to say, to be completely honest, but I have heard of players being literally killed because they didn't perform or like they missed a penalty or some shit. So, nothing surprises me anymore by this point. Over 1,000 beans, yeah, it's really not that much, really. You burn through them quite quickly, not gonna lie. But it is nice to have all of them, to be sure. Yeah, that happened in Colombia. That's exactly it. It happened in Colombia, yeah. I'm easily sure I read about that at some point, but thanks for jogging my memory. Yeah, Colombia. Which, again, absolutely insane stuff happening there. But, okay, here we go. So, yeah, Fudo here does actually have the charge rank up with counter team ability, which definitely helps. Now that he's fully upgraded, it's a crisp 1% as well, as opposed to 0.6. And the goalkeeper buffs up, which are really crucial as long as I keep insisting on running Hoshi in goal. Which honestly, it's been really fun. So I'm not going to stop anytime soon, I'm sure. That having been said, I will probably... Let me see. Let me take off... As great as it was to see Hoshi smile during the... when was it? It was during the last stream, wasn't it? I'm going to change it out and I'm going to give her High Beast Fang. There we go. Now she has a great moveset. Now she has a beautiful, great, perfect moveset. Let's see. You should give Cobra Mogra Shuffle? That is an interesting proposition. Why ever would I do that, friend Panda? Does he even have dribble slots? I'm sure he does, but... Let's see. Jumbo Sandwich. What is he even... He gets a dribble slot, if I go for this one. He could also have 2 more shots as a defender. This shit is... hot ass, not gonna lie. Cobra Voices Mogra Shuffle? Curious. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, fair enough. Okay. Then I guess I'll be looking into that. Might as well. I don't know if I have anything else that fits currently, to be honest. I like the suggestion to only give him snake-type moves. To be honest, how many of those are there? I guess there is Snake Bite. There is Snake Shot. There is Sidewinder. And I believe that's where it ends? Question mark? I think so, but... I mean, there's... well, I don't have anything at the moment, but... Let me see. I know that I wanted to give... Yeah, so if this Sakuma... Okay, well, he's not the type that I want him to be yet, but... If he has a dribble slot, fantastic. I will give him Naruko Otoshi. Just like he had in Strikers. So, let's do that. The fact that Fudo has, like... Why does he have triple boost? That's always been a big question of mine, not gonna lie. Now, aside from that... Yeah, the rest of these I don't really want to upgrade yet, to be completely honest, since they're not counter. I could upgrade Genda, I suppose. Yeah, unfortunately, kind of stinky blue passives for a goalkeeper, but I suppose every bit works. It all works in harmony, of course, in the counter play style. But let's see. You should give the Royal Academy trio some of the cute/girly moves to reference Cross. I mean, I did see that. I did see a short. I think someone shared it in the Discord server, where people were just giving Sakuma like no, they gave Fudo Love Arrow or some shit. They gave Ganda Flower Power. Yeah, it was very interesting. It kind of makes me wish that they would add, like, the Cross characters to this game. And to be completely honest, like, I wouldn't put it past them to actually do that at some point. It feels very logical for a game that I think Level 5 wants to have a lot of longevity to actually produce more unique characters for them to add in due course. So I could certainly see that from a strategic standpoint. On the other hand, Level 5 loves cocking us in every single aspect of this game, so possibly also not. But... you could use his shot slot for a long shot or a counter shot. I mean, absolutely. Given he is in defense, Cobra that is, I could definitely do that. I just have to look into what actually fits for like his moves, because I want this team to be, I want these teams to be thematically appropriate, you know, these characters. Obviously for the main team that was less important, I suppose, even though I still kind of went for it, not gonna lie. But for this one especially so. Normal Sakuma voices Gildash. I don't know if the Shintekoku version voices it too. I wonder if there's actually much of a difference between the two, but those are questions we can pose ourselves at a later time. For now, I think it's time that we play against, I believe this is Uzbekistan, for some reason, even though all of them have Arabic names, so I did confuse them with Saudi Arabia for a hot second. Well, let's see. Why would they make the Shintekoku girls like Leighton, where despite your kids, they always have their idol dress? That would be... Dude, unironically, I would use those. I would use all three of those on my team. Like, in a heartbeat. They have such amazing designs. It's not even funny. Okay, not much to change here, I don't think. The cross characters aren't even playable in their own game? Yeah, well... Well, but surely they can retcon it. Like, surely. They've done it before. Alright, but yeah. I guess it's time. Time for Uzbekistan. Let's see, Dust. We dropped Iwato immediately. These are fantastic drops right off the bat. Jumbo Sandwich. Okay, now we got that shit. Lock in Yurika. Boom. Never lucky. And I guess these people voice all of these moves, huh? They never really voice anything else, so I guess it makes sense for them to voice their base moveset in this game. That is also not where I was going, but I appreciate the suggestion, game. Thank you. That's okay. Yurika was squished, perchance, but it is for the greater good, because we're gonna get a go out of this. Watch this. We're gonna make it happen. Boom, we pass the Tsutome. We do a cheeky little sniper shot to Sakuma. The tactic I just used decreases tension use. So now what we can do is Kote Penguin Nigo to Aichi. Which Sakuma doesn't voice, nor does Fudo, apparently. So, it is what it is. And then, boom, Majestic Radiance, and that's it. That is the chain of all time. Kota! I know it. Yeah, she always says the same thing. Scout character privilege of always having the consistent lines, I guess. There's a character in this team that voices Requiem Dust as Nya 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 Dust. I'm pretty sure someone has used that guy against me before, so... Also, these guys are actually putting up quite a fight, I'm not gonna lie. 2 horn trains in a row is crazy work, but okay, that's fine. That's fine because Tsutomu's gonna get the ball back immediately. Oh, brother, who are you? I don't want to see that guy again. Muhammad, whatever he was called. Anyway, now that we're here, triple boost time. Scouts have a voice attached that the avatar can use? Yeah. That is certainly true. I mean, it's happened quite a few times before that I have heard scout characters using my avatar's voice, to be completely honest. I thought it was unique, but apparently I just wasn't. Yeah, that's also a good point to actually point out, Vinny, that, yeah, it's not the captain of this team, is he? But there's this one guy, this forward, who actually sings Requiem Dust like he did in the anime. So... at the very least, I guess you can say a lot of things about Orion, but you can't say that they didn't introduce anything interesting. At the very least, they had some cute ideas with the differing voice lines, and you know the voice actors they gave it the role. So Manta tragically has no unique voice. Damn. So she has a default voice, huh? One half of the Yuri duo has no unique voice. Is this confirmation that Akihiro Hino does not want them to be together. Does not want them to be unique together. I think that's actually the very guy that I just dropped that says nya 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 dasto. I'm decently certain, though I could not tell you with 100% certainty. Anyway. Orion Cross Viper! I've started a rewatch of Inazuma 11 from the start, so that eventually you get to finish Chronostones and watch Galaxy for the first time. That is a beautiful objective, Tomas, absolutely. I mean, I personally love Chronostones and Galaxy, so the fact that you've yet to watch them fully, it kind of hurts me on a spiritual level, but it's okay, it's okay. No, obviously I kid, but they are really great seasons. People give them a lot of shit for whatever reason they want. I know there's one person in the chat currently who vehemently is against Chronostones as a concept, but Galaxy, I think we can all agree on, was a little bit out there, but had a really good plotline, actually, surprisingly, and it made a lot of sense, unlike what the Chronicle mode would have you believe in this game. 2 goals here against Uzbekistan. I would love to get off a third, but for that I need tension, and I need actually quite a lot of power. So let me see if I can get both of those. Yeah, this is the captain, so the captain's not in fact the guy that sings Requiem Dust. Okay, let's see. Can I do anything here? I want to chain together a few moves if I can, or alternatively, I could chip him down a bit. Now, this is admittedly a bit risky, since I don't know where he's going to kick the ball to and if I can get it quickly enough. Which, I guess it's possible. If I somehow win with Killer Slide. Yikes. Okay, so it's going to be a full second half, unfortunately. He even voices the stamp. That's crazy work. Again, hold on. If I get this ludicrous pass, never mind. I'm so good at it, actually. So good at this game. Okay. You did play the Chronostones games, Tomas, so you don't know the story, you just never watched the anime version. Ooh. But here's the thing, right? The anime adds so much, especially when compared to the games, because obviously the games, they kind of have to rush their matches. They have to, well, they don't really, in fact, they actually don't rush them. Quite the opposite. They pad it out with a lot of story, because obviously, Chronostones, Galaxy as well to an extent, they have quite an extensive story to tell. And for that, they just don't have all the time to do it during the de facto dialogue of the game. Because obviously, it's an RPG. They want to have some degree of combat quote-unquote, the matches, of course. It's not a visual novel. It's not an Ace Attorney-esque game. So, let me see, this goalkeeper is, what? Wood, so I think it's time. I think it is time for him to enter the pitch. And there's the guy who said nya 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 dasto. He's up here. Alright, we'll see if he gets to do anything. Most likely not, he's in midfield, but that's okay. Gojin, Goatjin with the goated first move of the game, first move of his game at the very least. And here we go. He is in there like swimwear. Big guy with the mask is unfortunately blocking his path, but that's okay. Tsutomu is taking over. Let's see here. Go to Sakuma. Go to Yurika. And now Yurika has great positioning, so that's going straight to Gojin. It's beautiful. And then, boom, there it is. Fire Lemonedo! Chronostone's gameplay is slow for me. It is decently slow. It's exactly like I said, right? It's the football battles that are the fastest part of the game. The actual matches themselves, I mean, obviously in comparison to a game like Victory Road, every single handheld Inazuma 11 game is slow. Because Victory Road is maybe, aside from Strikers, the fastest Inazuma 11 game. In fact, I'd be willing to put my to actually put my neck on the old chopping block and say that this is the fastest Inazuma 11 game out there. Galaxy is certainly not faster. Galaxy is definitely not faster than Victory Road. Galaxy is... The match pacing is the exact same as Chrono Stones. So, no, gameplay speed, certainly not. Certainly not. Galaxy is the same... Okay, compared to Chrono Stones, yes. Compared to Chrono Stones, absolutely. It's, it was a slight upward movement, to be sure. But still, of course, it works. It runs on the same engine. It runs on the same gameplay principles. So it's not significantly different. It's marginally different. But the point being that any handheld Inazuma 11 game just feels really slow now that Victory Road is a thing. Which, of course, it makes sense. Because Victory Road is just an entirely different, well, way of play as well. It is just much faster paced. It's more FIFA-esque, I suppose, in this regard. But, you know, now that you're used to it, now that you're used to the Victory Road gameplay, I feel like it's going to be really difficult to return to anything that isn't Victory Road. And that's actually something I've kind of been dreading. But at the same time, I think it'd be pretty fun to now actually return to some older games. Okay, here we go. Match ended. Another victory. Another victory for the secondary team. Uzbekistan has been conquered. With that, I think... Level 77. Okay, the legendary players are, of course, a bit slower to level, but that's okay. We got the time. We also got 5 notebooks, apparently, from this one match, so great. Love that. What we're also looking out for is more Shintekoku Sakuma spirits. I would love to get more of those, so we can actually try to get a playstyle that does not breach. Can you confirm, Fates? The adjustment is crazy? Yeah. I mean, yeah, Vinny, the gameplay from the OG games is fun, absolutely. No, I stand behind that 100%. But it's just, you know, comparing that gameplay to Victory Road, it is like night and day. And like I said, it's going to be really difficult to actually return to that OG playstyle, as fun as it actually may be. On my return trip from Utrecht, I should take a detour to jump scare Fates and immediately leave. You can jump scare me, that's fine. I'll be at work all day tomorrow, unfortunately, but you can certainly come to jump scare me if you can find me. I'm pretty sure the train station... Hold on, let's see. So the route you're taking from Utrecht back to where you live. Actually, if you take the intercity from Utrecht, if it passes through Eindhoven and Helmond, I'm decently certain it should pass through the town that I actually work in. So, it's not impossible. You could try. You could try. Let's see here. So this is Saudi Arabia. Of course, Arabia Firebirds. I don't really know what element their goalkeeper is. I'm going to assume it's fire, since Orion loves fire goalkeepers. What makes it a bit difficult to go back to the OG games is the lack of content, since VR has almost everything. Yeah, that's also something, right? That's always the problem with games that, you know, that include everything that has ever happened in the franchise, like one big collection. It's just hard to go back to a game that doesn't have as much content as Victory Road does. You're hitting the nail on the head, I think, Vinny. And that's also, I think, going to be a pretty big obstacle in going back to the OG games. Okay, this guy's wind, so that actually means I have to get Haizaki in, I think. Haizaki or Canis. Canis could also work very well for this. Let's first just lock in a goal real quick. Yurika actually also works. Yeah, Yurika's fine. Let's start with Yurika and Sakuma. And actually, there's plenty of wood forwards that we have on this team, but... The OG games are way better than Victory Road. First and foremost, welcome, Light of Orion synergist. I mean, yeah, the OG games, I guess it's partially also the nostalgia factor, of course, but you could argue that the gameplay is better. In fact, I would probably say that the gameplay is better. Even if I like the fast-paced gameplay of Victory Road, I do actually enjoy having this much agency over everything that happens on the pitch. It took a while to get used to. It really did. But once you actually get the hang of it, it's great. It's great. It's just that, yeah, there's a lot of things that also make this game not that fun. Gambling to get characters that you want. I mean, Inazuma 11 3 already had a really big problem with it, so I'm not sure why they went back to it in Victory Road. Obviously, the gameplay bugs, online being absolutely toxic, playstyles just being changed on the whim, it feels like every single update. There's no reason to commit to anything, and that's kind of sad. But the story mode, no, absolutely, Vinny. The story mode is definitely among the best, if not the best, in the entire Inazuma 11 franchise. Though, you know, personally, I always find myself finding it pretty difficult to say that Victory Road is the best. But that is also, I think, in part because I am partial to Inazuma 11 3, and I really love Inazuma 11 3. And again, I think the nostalgia comes in really, really clutch for Inazuma 11 3 on this question of which game has the best story or which season, I suppose. Oh, we still have enough tension. We don't even need to use Gote Pingin Nigo. Just a regular direct shot will be fine. Because again, Wind Goalkeeper, who for some reason has had 3 fire moves, double rocket, power spike, and what was it called? Like, Shining Corona? Something along those lines? I don't know. And I have still neglected to add Haizaki to the lineup, not going to lie. But that's fine. Victory Road story mode is not even that good. No, I'll disagree with you on that one. I do think that the Victory Road story mode is great. In fact, I would say it outshines many of the past seasons. It's that, you know, one thing that Victory Road, the story mode, suffers from is that it's kind of a recurring problem, actually, with new seasons. It's that they have to introduce, like, a lot of characters in their separate arcs, and that takes a lot of time investment. Time that you realistically don't have in a story mode like Victory Road's. But at the same time, with the limited time that they do have, they actually flesh out characters like Raika, Sakurazaki, Kisoji. They flesh them out really, really well. And that is just something that stuck with me throughout the entirety of the story mode, you know? Every character feels distinct. They are properly fleshed out, despite the little time that each one of them is given. And I mean, obviously, the fact that everyone gets to have the little arc, everyone gets to have the little shining moments, even Haru, you know? It's a really nice mix. It's a really nice dynamic mix that they present in the story mode of Victory Road. And Unmei is just such a charismatic character as well. I mean, Unmei is great. When I started playing this game, when I started playing the story mode, I did not expect to like Unmei nearly as much as I currently do. And you know what? I think that's a great thing. I think it's a great thing to present a character like they presented Unmei, and then have him subvert every single expectation by not even having him play a single match properly. Also, the fact that I won by like 11 AT is awesome. Thank you, Tsutomu. Love that. Mission completo. That's like his only voice line when he scores, but that's fine. Yeah, also, Thomas, you raise a very valid point. The start of the Inazuma Victory Road story mode is very slow. There is no... I'm decently sure, what was it? There's no gameplay for like 3 hours at least, until you get to a certain point in the story, which obviously for Inazuma 11 is ridiculous. But that kind of ties in with the problem of, you know, they need to establish Unmei as a character. They need to establish Sakurazaki and Kisoji in those early stages of the story mode, which takes up a chunk of time that they really couldn't dedicate to playing any battles, I suppose. Since also, practically, of course, you can't play a football match with 3 people, so they had to make a whole plot point out of that first. Let's see. Cheat blasting. Yeah, let's do that. And then I shouldn't do curve shot. But I should focus it somewhere before I lose this opportunity to actually get a focus win for once. Never mind, he has Atlantis Wall. It's cooked. Unless... No, it's cooked. It's cooked. Unless Breach Sakuma, but no, that was never going to happen. Okay, advantage time. That's fine. Seeing some confusion in the chat. Or not confusion, it's more like a discussion. Let's see, Raika is just a love interest to Kodokai. To Kodokai? Really? Is that what you think? Is that how you interpreted it? I mean... she's more than that. She has her proper own character. It's like she hails from a family of ninja. She learns Zanzo. Like, she has a thing going on. She's only like one of the most popular... What is she? She's not an idol, is she? But she is famous. She has her own entire arc about always wanting to strive for being the best. Standing alone at the top and then, you know, learning that coming down to win with friends, with peers, is maybe just as good, if not better. And the fact that... Oh, hold up. She does nothing after the beginning, so we missed the entire Shunrai arc, did we? Should we miss the part where she goes in the goal in the final match? When they do reverse positioning? And I guess if we're gonna say that Raika did nothing, well... Raika granted her strength to Kodokai, if you want to go that direction. Kodokai would not have been able to Miximax without Raika. So I don't know, there's arguments to be made all around, I think. Raika also has the down in this game, in fact. So I think there's a lot of reasons to actually like Raika. Again, I also think she has a very well fleshed out character. She's clearly shown where she came from, what her struggles are, and she learns to cope with them. She learns to resolve them, like everyone else on the team. Murada. And I forget a foul. Yikes. Yeah, like if we want to talk about tools for character development, are we gonna mention Shinano? Are we going to mention the most useless main character in Victory Road? Like Shinano, if we want to talk about characters that contributed absolutely nothing, not Kodokai, Shinano should be mentioned first and foremost. Okay, so I'm just gonna lose the ball from some guy walking up, huh? Interesting. They actually also put in their 2 reserves, which is interesting. My controller is also dead, I think. Wait, nope, never mind. It lives. It has revived itself. Interesting things happening during this match. Let's see. Well, there's not really much else I need to do here, but... Your biggest need for Inazuma 11 today is Victory Road anime. The extra time would really help to flesh out the rest of the members. Look, there's only one thing that I need if they make a Victory Road anime, and obviously that's the goat. That's my girl. We need her to have some screen time, and she will, because she's one of the most popular ones. This is not just me coping. This is not me coping, I promise. You'll be shocked if Raika makes it into the base lineup of the Football Frontier International arc. The forwards are stacked this time around. Okay, but I think what you're forgetting is that we need to have female representation from now on. Galaxy had female characters. Orion had female characters in their teams. So, yeah. I think we're going to have some female representation, and Raika is the prime, not suspect, but candidate for that. So... Raika could certainly be on the Japanese team if we ever do in fact get an international arc. Which I still really hope they do, because international arcs are always one of the most fun things, for me at least, to watch and to play. Even though the Dutch team now has virtually 0 chance of making it in once again. So I think the dream of a Dutch team being in Inazuma 11 is pretty much crumbled to ashes. But well... Okay, well, still no Shintekoku Sakuma, but that's okay. Raika as a midfielder, or they make her a secondary goalkeeper. Imagine that. Imagine Raika actually develops goalkeeper moves after learning from... oh, what's his face? Unironically, I only remember his English name, Le Fontaine. But okay. We got Los Invencibles. We got the Spanish team here, who are currently still winning, apparently, against France 1-0. But, alright. Let's see if we can beat them in France's stead, I suppose. Now, ironically, we don't actually have the Spanish people here, I think. But that's okay. That's okay. We don't have Celine here. Celine is probably watching the match, I have to imagine. Garyu, yeah, thank you. It's Garyu. Exactly. Shisando, yeah, Garyu, yeah. I was thinking Garyu. I just didn't say it. Why didn't I just say it? Because it's Yagyu and Garyu. I always mix the two up for some reason. But Spain, right? Spain has Alonso, who is, I believe, ground. And well, would you look at that? I have 0 wind forwards. So I've noticed a bit of an issue with this team. 0 wind forwards. But I guess Tsutome will do things. Yeah, that's really all I can offer for this match, not going to lie. There won't be a Victory Road anime because Victory Road is an anime and a game at the same time. That is one interpretation, to be sure. I mean, obviously it's not fully an anime. There are animated cutscenes, yes, but they have been in every single Inazuma 11 game from this point. The fact that they've been animated by MAPPA, who are an animation studio, is... I wouldn't say it per se makes it impossible for a Victory Road anime to happen at some point. In fact, I'd say that makes it more likely, since they already have the material, they have the designs and everything that they need. Also, I guess this Sakuma doesn't voice Killer Slide, which is fine. I don't really need him to voice that, but... Well, Alonso, we meet again. The Barcelona Orb goalkeeper that I've conquered so many times, trying to get hero drops. You're gonna laugh if Victory Road is the anime where the Dutch dub returns for Inazuma 11? If the Dutch dub returns... Look, I'm just saying they have not... They've not done anything for the Dutch dub ever since the 3rd season. They haven't even dubbed Go. Which, to be fair, Go also never aired in the Netherlands. Like, period. So it's really quite a dire situation. We do still, as, you know, the Dutch Inazuma 11 community, we do have a lot more than certain other dubs do, which we can certainly be grateful for. But, yeah, well, realistically, I don't think anything is going to happen anymore in the way of Inazuma 11 dubbing in Dutch. Let's see, so here's the shelter on Tomato Guy. And there's the guy with the rose in his mouth, so I suppose that confirms it. They do all seem to move it, or voice it, which is great. Also, Powai scoring? Hold on. She is wind, so I guess that works out. Hold on. W Powai. That's all you really need sometimes. Beautiful. Go was still being aired a few years ago, but not in the Netherlands, surely. I mean, Go, as far as I know, has never been aired in the Netherlands, unless you have like an anime dedicated channel, which I don't personally. I wouldn't even know what there is in that regard on Dutch television. But I know there's no dub of it, at least. The regular version in the Netherlands. Yeah, no, if you're talking about the OG season, absolutely. I'm pretty sure they're still airing that. Yeah. I mean, it is just recurring, I'm decently sure. I remember that at one point they kind of stopped airing everything that happened past a certain point in Season 3, which kind of coincides with where most of the dubs stop in Season 3, which is after the Fire Dragon match. But also, I could be misremembering. These are very old memories. It's been an eternity since I watched Inazuma 11 on TV. Ikia! Your country got Go dubbed recently, Lies of Orion? What country would that be? Are they still making new dubs for Go? Because if so, huge, obviously. Now they just need to drop all the copyright claims so I can actually make multi-language videos for Go techniques, which I would love to do. I tried to make one for Dash Train by Kurumada at some point, but obviously, like, I think 4 out of 7 dubs were just copyright claimed, so yeah, it's rough, it's rough. It's rough being an honest creator out here, to be completely honest. Okay, play this to Aichi again, because she got cheated just now, so she's gonna cheat Alonso real quick. By the way, Fates, you can still run tension gain passes on a non-tension team. Yeah, I know that. I know that. Just the one that I would love to run, the dash tackle tension gain, is not a thing on any playstyle other than rough play. But yeah, no, obviously the tension gain passives, I will have to get a few of those eventually. For the most part, the players on this team have just they have not had any investment into their passives yet. For the time being, I want to level them up first and foremost, and see if I can give them some cool moves. I won that somehow. W-Aichi? Mokyo Hosoku. Let's see, the Shelter versus Mue Soha. W. Offense Commando 18. Mue Soha. Which it has been changed back to Offense Command 11 like it was in the 3DS games, but it was briefly Offense Command 18 in Strikers. Go Strikers. The more you know. If you were a super rich dude, instead of destroying the planet and making everyone's life miserable, you would just drop loads of money on the completion of the Brazilian dub. Aye. Those are valid and legit goals, Vinny. We love to hear that there's still passionate people out there in the community. I mean, God knows these dubs really need to just finish Season 3. Like, the fact that the Brazilian dub just kind of stops midway through the Fire Dragons match, like most of the dubs that made it to Season 3 in the first place, is crazy work. It really is. I also just noticed that I'm probably not getting the advantage time here. Which, well, it is what it is. And you'd make sure to pay cash money enough to get all the original VAs and keep it as consistent as you could. Even better. Even better. Alright, let's see. So, Alonso. Yeah, there's nothing I can really do against him, but I guess I could take out Fudo. I could try to differentiate a bit. I'm not taking out Yurika, obviously, but... It's before the Fire Dragon match? You believe in the episode right before it, actually. That's even more tragic, actually. If the Brazilian dub really does stop there, which I fully believe you that it does, that's just rough. That is really, really rough timing. It must have been done deliberately. The fact they couldn't even finish the Asia prelims is just... it's dire. It's really dire. Lucas, if you'd have the money, you would get Go 1 and 2 dubbed in Dutch. Plus the latter actually being available, yeah. I mean, yeah. Then again, why not just move on with Galaxy as well? I would love to hear what the sometimes cringe dub, Dutch dub, does for Kusaka and Moribura. Or like we heard yesterday during the game night, oh god, fucking Manabe's voice, what they did to Manabe in the Portuguese dub, oh brother. Defense equation! He had the most terrible voice. I can't even do it justice right now, but it was the most tragic stuff I've heard in a long while. Okay, so a bit of Canis action here. Who I actually did give beans and equipment at some point. The equipment he probably doesn't have anymore, but... Let's see, can I... No, I can't do elephant press. That's okay. Do you think I could ever... Hold on. What if I could get Cobra up there? Surely. It's close. Hold on. Velasco. That's fine. Cobra's got this. Watch this shit. Boom. W Cobra. It's just that easy. I only wish he didn't look like a fucked up chicken. Anyway. Kanone de Ho! And we chain to Aichi, and that is a GG for Alonso. I would like to be able to choose my own Inazuma Japan for Victory Road Football Frontier International. If we could... Yeah, honestly, I'm catching up to the messages now. I have the exact same reaction of Panda. If we could choose our own Victory Road Japan, oh boy. That would be great. Hoshi would certainly be on there. You'd already know. Hoshi would be on there. But there's so many good candidates. Like, obviously, the main group are going to make it in, right? The main group. Obviously, Sakurazaki and Unmei as coach, I have to imagine. One also has to imagine that, yeah, Raika is going to make it in for 1, female representation, 2, being part of the main group. Kisoji, obviously, has a Kashin. And, you know, I guess Yagyu is also there. And then Kodakai is like, whatever. We know he's going to be there, probably, but he really doesn't need to be honest. Yeah, I'm probably, what's his face? Soramiya? Yeah. Soramiya is also going to be there. I think that's a given by this point. And Haru. So, by that point, how many do we already have filled in? Like 9? We're going to have 6 strikers or some shit. So, I don't know about that one, Chief. Garyu? Yeah, I shouldn't forget Garyu. That's a little rude of me. Yeah, if that's going to be the squad, then it's going to be a dire squad. It's not going to be very original at the very least. Koto? It'll be so hard to choose 2 goalkeepers for the national team because there's so many cool goalkeepers in the Victory Road story. Unironically. Fact. And ironically, some of them are reserve goalkeepers as well. I'm thinking the reserve goalkeeper for Victory Road Teikoku. The girl. You think in the Football International Frontier, Raika would be a midfielder or a defense libero even? I could see her being a defense libero, I suppose. Just like Endo did at some point. I mean, Raika does have... She has shots. She has a defense move, I think. I forget what it is. Is it just Flame Dance? It can't just be Flame Dance. But I'm sure it's something with a dance. Cope, but Kasumisaki becoming a proper coordinator would be so cool. Dude, if they gave Kasumisaki anything, that would be great. That would be lovely. She deserves so much more than what she actually got. And we just carry over Momochi and Senno. And we don't even need Senno, to be completely honest. We can just take Momochi. Mama Shigdale is the backup goalkeeper. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. It would be interesting to have her be flashed out more, you know? Because currently she's just kind of the meme character. The meme reserve goalkeeper that was able to move a building with just force of will, I suppose. Shisendo is cool. The Hokuyo? I don't know what team that is, but I believe you immediately. The Kashin team goalkeeper is cool. Yeah, that's true. The girl with silent ink stroke. Damn, she goes hard. Hard design. Momochi, Kasumisaki, and Alice as managers makes sense to me. Dude, Alice. Having Alice on the international team. No, actually. That makes a lot of sense. Or Arata? Arata even? Arata, Alice, and Unmei. I feel like that would make sense for like a trio. A trio of coaches slash managers? Are you even allowed to have multiple coaches? Who knows? They can make it happen. Hokuyo is Soramiya's team? Oh, true. Okay, in that case, the guy with the dreadlocks. Yeah, absolutely. With Gravity Desert. Yeah. No, I love that guy's design. He would make a great goalkeeper, actually. Even though he doesn't really have a lot, he just has Gravity Desert, but... Oh, hold on. There is Shintekoku Sakuma. There's one drop for Shintekoku Sakuma, so we can see if he's a better type. The Looming Colossus, however, has been defeated. Alice is Unmei's advisor? Yeah, I could certainly see that happening. Okay, fellas, here's the thing. We have one more rare drop battle to do on this route since I've done everything else. So we got one more rare drop battle with the secondary team. And past that point, I think we can try to knock out the legendary matches, hero battles, sorry. And then possibly look at a more difficult encounter with perhaps Ultra Hero Battle, perhaps a Lightning Showdown. We could see. We could see. Or we could tinker with the secondary team a bit. I suppose we'll have to see. But we have another fire goalkeeper against Russia here, against the pitch perfectionists. So one more job for Aichi to perform here. Let's see, can I do anything else to buffer up a bit? I mean, I could actually bring in Satan for a change, which, honestly, yeah, sure, why not? Do it. Archon Aphrodite? Oh, right, Theta. I guess Theta... See, here's the thing. Do you even think that the Solaria Zeus characters are eligible for Inazuma Japan? I mean, surely, since they're from Japan, but, like, they really... They didn't even play a part in the main story. They were never mentioned in the main story. They're just kind of an appendage that you get to play against once the game is over, you know? They're literally just the extra team with no extra story attached or anything. So, I'm sure they're eligible, I just don't think they're likely. That's the thing. See, Solaria Zeus as a rival team for the qualifiers, or doing something similar to Neo Japan, where you just have like a few guys from Solaria Zeus, for example. I could see that being a thing, or like something similar to the Revolutionaries, where you play against them in Go 1 because they're trying to help you get stronger in preparation for the matches ahead. Something like that, right? Something like that I could certainly see. Revolution, what's that called again? Earth something. The team you play against in Galaxy that has Hakuryu has all the strikers, all the Kashin users as well. It's that one's an interesting team as well. I'm most crazy that I didn't get caught by that wall as well. Resistance Japan, thank you, Nitro, thank you. Yeah, my knowledge of the team names is clearly lacking a little bit, but that's exactly what I meant. Little Carl. Hey, Carl. And really, we just... boom. We just lock in our first goal here. Patriotto, shoot! The explanation to teams like Solaria Zeus not showing up in the Football Frontier is that Zeus and the other schools were merging, and due to that they weren't available to play the tournament. Lots of mergers going on in the region of Nagumohara. Very interesting, very interesting. I've also been hit by an Aurora Obscure, I now notice. Okay, that makes sense. No, Resistance Japan was not fully cash-in users. I also don't believe I claimed that. But it did have a lot of them. The majority, the overwhelming majority. And yeah, the entire point of Resistance Japan, if memory serves, is that, well, they were just supposed to deadass obliterate Earth 11. They were absolutely meant to destroy them. They just went all out on offense, zero defense. Just so they could show how weak Earth 11 really is, that they have to work a lot harder. But it was interesting, right? Because I'm pretty sure that the match against Resistance Japan as well is like one of the only matches in Inazuma 11 where they actually used chain shots. I certainly remember it being the only match in Galaxy with chain shots. Otherwise, they're always just standalone shots, which I suppose in the context of the anime makes a lot more sense, but... Called Solaria Zeus / Tensho Zeus. Solaria is another school that merged with... Okay, you know what? That actually makes a lot of sense. I never even considered it that way, to be completely honest. I always just assumed that Solaria was like a reference to some kind of god, but I guess now that you say that, that makes a lot of sense. In that case, let me see Solaria Junior High. Let me see those guys. Like, surely you can't only bring the Zeus guys to the match. Maybe some of them already are from Solaria. You don't really know, actually. Okay, let's do the Shaolin Flash Stab. Let's save tension when we can, I suppose. I would do a time trance, but doesn't really add anything at this point in time. Spain 2-0? There's no shot. There's no shot Spain is winning this. Hello? In what universe is Spain winning against France? Yeah, let's see. I want to get the 3-0 here pretty badly, so try to not fumble the ball. Okay, goalkeeper is fumbling, so I think this will be a clean ass goal. Goalkeeper just stuck in mid-air. That's great. That's how good the shot was. He was just frozen in mid-air. It's beautiful. Spain's been playing a good World Cup. See, they have been playing well, but they've been scoring so few goals that I was wondering if they were even able to, you know, do anything against France, who have just been absolutely monstrous in their performance, to be honest. But, I guess both teams have had their difficulties along the way. I mean, France had Paraguay to contend with, and they didn't really do hot against those guys. Only won 1-0, but Spain popping off, I guess, well, that's fair. The Zeus half are named after Greek gods, while the Tensho half are named after Japanese gods. Oh, okay. You know what? Actually, that's true. That's true, thinking about it, yeah. Again, I never even considered to look at them like that, but that's clever, actually. That's clever. I like that. No, I never considered that the Solaria part was actually the Japanese gods, which I guess they had to translate somewhat liberally, but again, it is what it is. Actually, see, what minute are we in currently for the Spain-France match? How deep are we into this match? Is there a chance for France to come back somehow? Or are we like too deep in already? We're like an hour and a half in. Well, okay, so that's, well, not an hour and a half, obviously, but because that would be the entire match. But the 61st minute, huh? Okay, so half an hour left to go. Interesting. Hoshi will also get some minor action here. W Hoshi. Japanese gods are those you recognize from Persona/SMT. I'm sorry to bring this to you, but I have never touched a Persona or SMT game in my life. So I do not recognize them from anything. I mean, the closest I can get is Izanagi. There's a character in Fire Emblem Fates called Izana. So I could certainly imagine him being named based off that god. So that is like the closest I can get to these Japanese gods. Aside from that, I would not be able to place them whatsoever. Here we go. Aikido with Reiruk. Oh god, they gave Reiruk a happy expression. He should not have that, bro. He is stone-faced in every single interaction he has, canonically. But that's okay. That's okay. Look, again, Hino, if you want me to instruct you on the actual personalities of these characters, I'm here for you, mate. I'm here for you. Just hire me. I'll do it for free. I'll tell you for free. But have I heard of Duff Dooley? I unfortunately have heard of Duff Dooley. I do not accept him as my Lord and Savior. So kindly go back to the dark, damp cellar where you made up this theory. Where you concocted this fake faith in the fictional forest man. That's offside. That's offside. Just like the 3-0 from Spain against France, I suppose. They gave Marik his one minute of gameplay. That's great. That's great. I hope he breaks his leg. Anyway, this is mine. This is my 5-0. This is the Shinto Koku arc. Nah, this is going in, mate. Don't even try. Boom. Easy. 5-0, there it is. And that is, I think, the final rare drop match that we have to do. So I believe we're on to, yeah, we're on to the hero battles. Which I can actually pull out the main team again, so it's going to be a bit more interesting, I think, goals-wise. It's going to be a lot faster as well. Okay. So, there we go. That is all the rare drop matches from Orion. So, yeah, that was pretty fast, actually. That's good. Obviously, it helped that I played like half of the matches on this route to completion already, but... we got the secondary team up quite a few levels, so I'm okay with that. Is that the Star Unicorn kit? From Orion? Hold on. The Star Spangled Unicorns kit. That's crazy work. But you know what? Fair enough. I guess we had yet to get them. Since obviously you get the Ace Invaders kit instead of the Star Unicorn kit, but that's cool. I like that. I like that they put in these kits of the teams that you technically never encounter in the Chronicle mode or the story of Orion as portrayed here. But yeah, okay. Then I guess we backtrack and we start plowing through these hero battles real quick. These again are going to be considerably faster since this second my primary team is a lot better equipped to handle all these guys. And Sakurazaki is certainly staying on as our main scorer. They added it there because there are 2 matches against Perfect Spark? Yeah, no, that absolutely makes sense. And I do understand. In fact, I think it's a really good thing that they did it like this. Because it also allows them to not just have to force all these kits and all these emblems into just any random shop. You can actually just get them through playing the Chronicle mode, which I very much appreciate, in fact. Alright. So here we go, back to the main team. So I think we should be able to get through these a lot easier now. Even if they have Horn Train. I don't think Gandaras is going to care, to be completely honest. Yeah, we're back. We're so back. It's just that easy. Unloads gun, don't ship Goldie and Faye. That's a great message for me to read, currently. Yeah, no, don't do that. For obvious reasons. No one say what the reason is, for spoiler reasons. But yeah, great idea not to ship those 2. Don't do that. Okay, shot break, I mean, this is just going in. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, there you go. You're aware of Goldie's and Faye's relationship? You will never ship them? That's good. That's great, mate. The gun can go back into the holster, I suppose. Okay, these are also just beautiful passes, so... There's the female defender. Who isn't able to do anything this time, but... At the very least, she's gonna block Sakurazaki's... barrage. 2140 on Kusaka here is awesome. It feels so good to be back to the main team, actually. For context, you mentioned your work in progress Tenma X Phase ship fic you're working on as we speak. I see. That is the context. Okay, well, you're free to ship those 2, obviously. Yeah, there's some territory that should not be tread upon, I think. Especially since Chronostones is a lot of fucky time travel stuff, so there's a lot of gray area, unfortunately. I mean, personally, I'm just not into shipping Inazuma characters regardless, because, well, personally, I'm a little uncomfortable with shipping kids. I don't know if that's a crazy, like, stance to take, but I know that people can take comfort in shipping these characters that they like, of course. And you know what? I do respect it. I do respect that people are able to actually muster the creativity to invest so much time into something like that. Me personally, you won't catch me doing it. Shipping is not inherently sexual, that's true, but still, it's like it's the thought of having forcing children into a into a relationship, which I don't know. Personally, I don't feel good about that. It is a very slippery slope. And just because, you know, it isn't inherently sexual, it doesn't mean that it can't feel uncomfortable, you know? You're a fake supporter of the Manta Shark, Yuri? I am. I'm sorry. I am, in fact, a fake supporter. Look, as long as it comes to Inazuma 11, you will never catch me shipping anyone except for the canon relationships that are in Inazuma 11. And that does not mean Rika and Ichinose. That means Morimura and Kusaka specifically, and I don't think anyone else, really. Like, maybe Endo and Natsumi. That's like the farthest I will go. And then Nitro ships Fudo with the bench. See, there's something for everyone out there. And no, Lucas, you're free to share, obviously. You're free to share. Like, it doesn't make me queasy or anything. It's just, you personally, I would not do it. But that doesn't mean that I don't want others to do it, you know? So by all means, share, because I do like when you share this stuff. Like I said, I appreciate everyone who invests time into creating content of any kind for the Inazuma 11 community, you know? Because sometimes I think there's not enough content, to be completely honest. Mei and Giris, yeah, Mei and Giris, absolutely. Absolutely. Why does it not being canon make it weirder than it being canon? I think the main issue is that it not being canon makes it so that if you put them together, they've not given consent to being in that relationship. And as long as you don't make it weird, there's not an issue. There is not an issue. Let me just put that out there. There's not an issue as long as you don't make it weird. Personally, I feel uncomfortable with putting two characters together who are not implied to have any interest in each other. And if you have characters like Morimura and Kusaka who have literally, well, it was one-sided in this case, but no, it wasn't implied to be two-sided. If you have characters who have explicitly expressed being interested into each other, then that is fine. That is just how it's supposed to be. That is how the writers wrote it. That is how the characters themselves have interacted with each other. So to me, that makes sense, that feels good, because that's what they want. Also, it's 6-0. Like, I'm sorry, I just informed you of this, but it has become 6-0 in the meantime. But I think the thing with shipping is that it's a very slippery slope. There's a big gray area, and personally, I'm just not that. I think, especially with Inazuma 11 as well, where almost all the characters are explicitly underage. It tends to get weird very fast. So I like to stay clear from it as much as I can. And as such, you will only really see me supporting the canon ships that are out there. And even though there is subtext, which, yes, there is a lot of, there absolutely is a lot of, and I like to do a lot of things for the joke of it, right? I like to say a lot of things just in jest, but I don't properly support any Inazuma 11 ships except for the canon ones. Mei and Giris, Endo and Natsumi, Morimura and Kusaka, and that's basically where it ends. That is where it ends. Okay, that was Korea, which has been largely overshadowed by the shipping debate for Inazuma 11, which, I guess that debate will rage on in every single community out there. Hiroto and Midorikawa? Again, the subtext. I would never ship those two together, personally. Let's see, this is again a fire goalkeeper, right. This is Australia. Let's see, Lucas, let's see. It takes place just before the final match of Chrono Stones, and it's Tenma and Faye spending some extra time together and growing closer, and Tenma's singular brain cell is out to lunch. Okay, well that sounds like a wholesome little story. You know what? I like the sound of that. And you know, I think the most important part, Lucas, let me also put this out there, is if you write fanfiction and you feel you find like some kind of closure or some kind of enjoyment out of actually making these characters interact in this way, then by all means, go for it. Pop off. I think ultimately what writing fanfiction is like, it's sort of escape, right? It is the same thing that people do playing video games. It is the same thing that people do watching anime. They're able to really insert themselves into, they're really able to insert themselves into a different dimension and to kind of be away from daily life. So if that's your way of like relaxing after coming back from work, if that's your way of just detoxing from everything that's going on in the world right now, and God knows that is a lot, then really just do it. Keep doing it. And don't stop, regardless of what people tell you to. Hiroto and Midorikawa are a canon ship. Okay, so that already is a little strange, because a ship, by definition, is never canon. A ship is by definition always something that people have invented themselves. If it is not a ship, it is just a relationship. Or an implied relationship. Unmei and Haru have a whole ass day together. One could interpret it as such, and I have actually interpreted it as such. At the same time, that does not mean, you know, that there's anything there. They could just be friends, like the story implies. Dates can also be platonic. Exactly, Yami. Thank you for that addition. I appreciate that. Also, Vinny, great comment. If I could star it, I could, but pirate ships do have cannons. That's true. That's true. Pirate ships do, in fact, have cannons. You got me there. You got me there. Endo x Fuyupe is canon as well in Go 1 Shadow. That's true. That is true. Endo, the lucky little bastard. He was so lucky that he had 2 canon wives. Fuyupe and Natsumi. Well, Natsumi is the real canon result, obviously, as we see in literally every piece of media following the Go 1 games. I mean, in the anime it's Natsumi. Now in Victory Road it's still Natsumi, actually, but let's see. Let's pass to Sakurazaki with the Galactic Fall. Strikers is so much better. Wish this game was Strikers. Alas, it is not. I mean, Strikers had its merit. I think there's arguments to be made for Strikers being a better game gameplay-wise. I don't think that content-wise it is better than Victory Road. I think Victory Road has so much more to offer than Strikers in that regard. Even Ghost Strikers was still very limited in the characters that it had available. And also the moves it had available by extension. So in that regard, Victory Road is the ultimate compilation of Inazuma 11. Like this guy, she's called As. That is a Dutch word. I'm pretty sure it's also a German word for ace, as in a golf ace. Okay. Let's get a heavy baby in there. Yeah, Victory Road is just simply better than any other Inazuma game content-wise. Absolutely. But in terms of gameplay, you could argue that other games like Strikers are better, I suppose. But I wouldn't go any further than that. I think on the gameplay front, you can argue a lot. But other than that, Victory Road has pretty much every entry beat. Just give us proper Tyson routes? Yeah, absolutely. I need more stuff that is not just the Chronicle routes, which, you know, the Chronicle routes are fine, and I guess with the teams that they've added in the Legend Showdowns, they are a sort of Tyson route, but it's just not the same. It's not the same. Okay. Yeah, Hoshi's not getting beaten by the fucking Australians, by the way. But it looks like France will be beaten by Spain, and pretty decisively too. Jeez, that is certainly not what I expected. But I guess my mum was cheering for Spain, so W mum. In Go 1 Light, there's a scene when Hiroto and Midorikawa come to Raymond to Kariya, and it's heavily implied that they are his adoptive parents. Is this... Chat, is this real? It's been like an eternity since I played Go 1. Especially since I played Go 1 Light. I would be certainly interested to hear how this is heavily implied, because I don't remember anything of the sorts, to be completely honest. W Storm Rider? I love Storm Rider. Yeah, you never played Go 1, Panda? No, that's valid. That's so valid. Tragically, I bought both games because I knew no one who had the other copy of Go 1, so I couldn't do the connection stuff. But yeah, so I have both copies. I have Light and I have Shadow. Because I didn't know anyone else to play with and I needed the connection stuff. So yeah, it is what it is. Sometimes the greatest sacrifices, you know, or the hardest choices require the greatest sacrifices. The sacrifice in this case being 50 euros, I think. But, okay, second match down. What is that, like 4 more to go? And we are passively leveling Nero as well with this, so that's good. If I ever decide to... Because now this plan is really salient in my head, right? To actually run, not Nero, but Fabled Hoshi as my spare goalkeeper, I guess, on the primary team. If I ever decide to step down from that copium high, then I suppose Nero could still be useful. I already have like an entire moveset for him chalked out, but I need to actually commit at some point, which is harder than it seems. Okay, so let's see. This guy, Alek Akbar, is... okay, he's fire. I need... no, he is wood. I need fire. Okay, guys, train up all your earth forwards. Guys, no. Please, not your earth forwards. Not against Ayano. Not against Ayano and Hoshi. Surely you wouldn't want to hurt Hoshi, right? Like, you wouldn't specifically train your earth forwards to get Hoshi injured in goal, right? Come on. Okay, we bring in Burn against this unfortunately named goalkeeper on the Uzbekistan side of things. Earth forwards, huh? Says the guy with the fucking Oxus Seiji profile picture. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Okay, so... It's interesting that this... I don't even know what like emotion this music is supposed to describe. Like this music of desperation almost. A dire situation is unfolding. Interesting that this is playing. I don't remember the Orion Japan really having that much difficulty against Uzbekistan. Well, to be fair, I remember myself having a lot of difficulty with Uzbekistan, who I kept calling Saudi Arabia, I think, in my initial playthrough of this Chronicle route. Now, to be fair, I had not seen Orion in like 3 or 4 years, and I didn't like Orion very much in the first place, so... Let's see. I guess I'm getting stomped. Also, I'm seeing another discussion in the chat here. Being like the legal guardian of a child does not mean you're in a relationship. You can have 2 legal guardians who are not in a relationship. That is perfectly possible. I know the undertone is there, but, you know, legal guardian is not the same as being a parent. And there's another chip shot. Beautiful. 2-0. Fuck. Ho, ho, ho. Requiem Dusto. That's what he does, I'm decently sure. Which is the craziest performance I've heard in the entire anime. But yeah, that's exactly what it is, bro. That's exactly what it is. That's beautiful. Okay, Legendary Gandaras, okay. I keep dropping this guy, which is great. I don't need any copies of him anymore, but I love this stupid fucking alien. He's awesome. And that should be the 3-0. Easy enough. Aurora Curtain, yeah, that's doing nothing, Chief. Thank you very much for the 3-0. ORION CHRONICLE. Damn, is France really not able to put up any kind of resistance against Spain? It's just 2-0. It's the 83rd minute. How are France going out like this? That's crazy. Counterpoint. Midorikawa's Dutch VA said he gave him queer vibes, so it's canon. Maybe the Dutch dub. Maybe the Dutch dub. But in any other dub, I don't think so, Chief. And now I'm getting stumped. Okay. So, really didn't need to do that, to be completely honest. Spain defense is going hard. And I guess France is in Spain without the ass. Exactly. That's a very, very apt comment, Lucas. Very much appreciate that. Rose Griffin was the worst team in the FFI after all. So Inazuma 11 was right in the end. Curious. Okay, yeah, I'm getting that. Easy enough. Okay, 65% to Gandaras? Surely. Boom. Okay, Kusaka. That's fine. That's okay. No worries, bud. Next time for sure. Sideswipe, huh? Vanishing Cut? Nice try, buddy. Nice try, little fella. Smart fella? Or Fart Smella? That's him right now. To be frank, with how much shit other shows at the time got for it, I think there's a reason for why they wouldn't confirm something like that back then. As in, Midorikawa being queer? Potentially. I'm not saying anything is absolute here, but the undertones, well, the undertones are always there. I mean, somehow I feel like in Japanese media, the undertones are always there when two guys are interacting. Or not always there, but they're very easily interpreted as such. Which, it might be due to the way they actually write the characters, which is most likely the case, but at the same time, is not an inherent quality of Japanese media like this. But yeah, safe to say, I am shocked that France are not winning this. We might have a fully Spanish final in the World Cup here, if things go terribly wrong, if we meet with a terrible fate tomorrow evening, being that Argentina win another match. Fire Blizzard with Hoshi? Great. Love to see that. Need more of that, actually. And then both Nitro and Panda mentioning Gravity Falls at the same time. What are the chances? Well, it's gotta be true if you both say it. Me personally, I never watched Gravity Falls. I watched like the very little that was actually aired on Dutch TV, and that was only every Saturday morning when I would actually watch cartoons in the first place, but I like that I can just run through the defense like that, no one will really do anything to stop me. That's also a great part of this game, actually. Fire Blizzard with Duff Dooley and Pam Duff. I think I would do a lot of things rather than see that, to be completely honest. You might swap to listening to the stream for a bit and actually finishing the Phaex Tanma fic. I definitely do, Lucas. And once you finish it, you know where to drop it. You know where to drop it in the server. I'm sure there would be many people who'd be interested in reading it, actually. I've also run out of water in my glass. Fortunately, I have another bottle. It is exceedingly warm here again today, at least for Dutch standards. Vinny will quite possibly laugh in my face when I say this, but it's 31 degrees here, Celsius, and it has been killing me, not gonna lie. It is very warm. Okay, but that's Uzbekistan out of the way. We did in fact get the Requiem Dust guy, whose deadass is called Dust Gales. And aside from that, nothing that we really need. So, yikes. If Julien Rousseau was on the pitch, Spain would have zero chance. Yeah, no, it's true. Essentially what we now have is, I guess, Claudio Orban being on the pitch for Spain here. And no Julien Rousseau to counter him, which, yeah, tragic. This is the logical result, really. It's getting warmer over there. It was 28 degrees today and sunny. Oh, and that's nice. See, 28 degrees is nice. It's already getting a bit to the warm side, to the very warm side. Also, I forget what team we're playing against. This is Saudi Arabia. He was wind, so I have the stupid twins. We're good. W. Panda, if you ever write anything, would you all want to read it? Obviously. Obviously. If it's Inazuma 11 related, definitely. If it's anything else related, it depends on the community, I guess, or the franchise. Okay, but wind goalkeeper here, we are going to be absolutely capitalizing off the fact we have two wood forwards in Gandaras and Ryuga. Red Hot Chili Meteor. Yeah, so I lost against that, surprisingly. They killed Gandaras. Okay, so maybe the Arabian Firebirds, they are going to put up a bit of a struggle, which, just as well. Don't want to play only one-sided matches, I suppose. Ryugal. Something crazy that happened to you yesterday, Tomas? You got both Hero Alpha and Hero Beta from a Commander Mode, Hero Mode match. Hey, that's awesome. Both Alpha and Beta? That's great. You got the two best ones. Well, Gamma is great too, but obviously he doesn't hold a candle to either Alpha or Beta, to be completely honest. Polish 28 degrees can be nice. Dutch 28 degrees has bigger chance to be unbearable. Yeah, certainly. It's just it's the humidity over here. Also 7k, I did not need to pull out a 7k shot against fucking Saudi Arabia. But no, certainly 28 degrees here is it tends to get unbearable really quickly, unfortunately. And it's mainly because of the humidity. The goalkeeper of this team voices 2 dribble moves? What, he does? What does he voice? Dribble move-wise. What is he called? Falcon? Falcon Ali or something? Damn. Crazy defender as well. Didn't think he'd move that much, to be honest. Not looking good for France with 7 minutes of stoppage time. They either lock in or it's done for everyone who battled them, including your boy. Yeah, well, it is what it is. Like I said, I didn't have anything to lose anyway. I guess I'll go send my French friend their condolences. Because that is certainly not something I expected to happen tonight. They were on a roll. They really did very well. But I guess even the mighty will fall eventually. Close counter? Huge! Ah, well. Close counter and swallow counter, apparently. Oh, the Uzbekistan voice. Uzbekistan goalkeeper voices Melody Wave and Echo Ball. Okay, that makes sense. But apparently this keeper, Falcon, has swallow counter, which... Great. I guess. Very useless, but great. If you want to run him as a midfielder, I guess. For some reason. Spain has a higher chance of scoring a 3-0 than France equalizing. Well... That's, yeah, that's tragic. That's tragic. But I guess Spain earned it. I guess so. All the shit talk from Lamine Yamal was actually, was valid, I guess. France claiming so adamantly that they were ready. Well, I guess not. I guess not, buddy. Yeah, no, definitely not. The Falcon also voices a dribble move, the Falcon version of Swallow Counter from the Victory Road Blue Hair. Does he voice... Oh, interesting. Does he really voice that? Because that's like... It's not Swallow counter, but it's like Sparrow counter, is it? Or Falcon counter? It's Hayabusa something, I believe. In the actual Japanese name, so... I guess it would make sense for a guy called Falcon Ali to have a Hayabusa counter, or whatever they call it in Japanese. Foul desu! Okay, I don't really have anything left to do in this match, to be completely honest, so I think I'm gonna farm some materials. Never mind, I'm not gonna farm any materials, apparently. Because these guys decide they want to be little assholes. Get this guy. Yeah, exactly. Get this guy. Andrea, he has nothing on Kusaka. What's the shit? Boom. Easy. Get some more CDs. God knows I need them for moves and equipment or something. Unfortunately, Kusaka's a little too good at what he does, so... And right as I say that, I fumbled another dribble. That's okay. Liar shot, huh? Interesting. Let me get a... I don't know. Let me get a wall for one. Cheeky wall for one, maybe? Yeah, that works. Let Panda score. I mean, I would if Panda was on the pitch, I guess. Who's Panda, bro? Who is Panda? Except for you. Who is Panda in this context? Can I just get this guy with a regular W Hoshi? Judge is through! I love that her leg has to leave the ground for her to reach. It's great. Yeah, there is a wild reserve character called Panda. That's true. There's the Panda Kit, I suppose, but... I feel like that's probably not who Panda was referring to somehow. But, Oh, we are actually talking about Panda from Nose? Okay, well, I think I have him. I think I actually have him summoned. I'm not going to put him on the main team, so him scoring tonight is certainly not happening, but... Good suggestion, W. Thank you. Okay, and that's 2 more levels for Nero. Very nice. And we're getting some chests as well. Like, if we could somehow... I don't know what we could possibly get from the chests. I mean, I would love to get the special coins that you need for the Versus shop. I successfully confused Fates. Now, believe it or not, that is actually not that difficult. That is really not that difficult when I'm playing like this, when I have to focus on reading the chat and playing a game, and also giving commentary at the same time. It takes a lot of mental capacity, so confusing me is really not that difficult in this state. What was I saying? I would love to drop some, if I can, coins for the Versus shop from the chests that I got, and I think it's easier to get them from this. They are also dropped from free matches, so if push comes to shove, I'll just be grinding free matches in my free time during summer holiday. But yes, the Blaze Burst coins. Those are actually, unironically, those are what I needed. I don't know what for, but I remember needing them for something. And I guess the purple ones I also need pretty badly. But for the time being, we can very quickly round this off, I believe. We can absolutely destroy Alonso Fibiano. We can take revenge for France tonight, I suppose. Yeah, it's the last minute, and I don't think France are going to do anything by this point. So damn. That is, that's crazy. Oh, you're so right, Vinny. It was for that LBX move. A Big Bang Slash, I think? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But then, let's see. Of course, we run Matatagi against Alonso. Because, yeah, he's my only win forward. And he's also my best win forward, by extension. And Spain has won against France. Okay, I guess it's definitive. Well, here it is. Here's the final hurrah for Spain. I guess they really are Los Invencibles. But, fair enough. Fair play. Yeah, if that's how it is, then shift some rankings tonight. I'm decently sure about that. Okay, let's go Matatagi. Lock in. Play the Legend match against Solaria Zeus? I probably could, later. I don't see why I would. Well, to show off Pan on screen, I guess, but otherwise I don't really see why I would. Okay, that is definitely what I need. I need more of those Grandpa notebooks. They are, believe it or not, probably the most essential currency for good moves in this game.